All right, welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. We are talking about last night's
meeting.
village board meeting.
I'm going to have my phone out because we don't have our paper.
We don't have our paperwork. We're at the park. We were here for the ribbon cutting for the stormwater
Don't talk too much about it. We have another
detention.
episode.
There's another episode, yeah. But I'm just
stay
setting
tuned.
some context here.
Stay tuned.
Actually, go watch that one. It'll be out first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you could watch both of them in one sitting or listen to them in one sitting.
Yeah. Shout out to Russ working out.
Get it.
And so let's see. It's Tuesday, September 28th. We're talking about last night's meeting.
Okay.
And you've got the agenda.
All right.
So
here
I'll
we go.
just let me
Along for the ride?
I'm just along for the
Who are you, by the
ride
way?
today. And I was just going to get into that. I don't have a disclaimer like normal because we're not in my basement. But all of
this stuff is
all
yours.
of this stuff, the camera, the microphones, it's still mine. I just moved it out here. My apologies for the wind.
It is so nice out though.
It's so beautiful, but the wind may pick up on the microphones. I don't know what that's going to sound like, and we'll.
I don't know. Whatever. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll make
you
it
guys
work.
can hear just fine. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you can.
I said so.
And my name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee here in Mundelein.
Same, except my
You're-
name's not Eric Schwenk.
You're not Eric Schwenk.
I'm Kara. I'm also a trustee here in Mundelein.
And so we're going to talk about last night's board meeting. Let's see, we did
Okay.
some call to order attendance. Sol wasn't present. She's out of town. And let's see.
Pledge
we
allegiance.
Did Pledge of Allegiance.
We approved the minutes.
Approved minutes from the last board meeting.
And now where are we?
Now we're into the public commentary.
Good job. We had a few.
Four people spoke during
Was it
public
four?
commentary. I
Who
think
was-
it was four.
Oh, now I'm lost on who the fourth is. We don't have our notes in front of us, so you have to bear with us. We had Esmeralda from Taco Burrito Express talking about their expansion plans, and they applied for a big grant. We'll talk more about that later.
Yes. Tobin talked about photography.
Oh, yeah, his new business.
Yep.
Yeah, new
which will
business
be
studio.
in the ABC, the Archer Business Center.
Yep.
So Tobin is a photographer, and he's opening a studio and a gallery. It's going to be
So
pretty awesome.
the plans are beautiful.
Yeah, those pictures were. I mean,
Awesome.
hello as a photographer, but still, yes.
Yeah, looks
It's
amazing.
beautiful.
Gail
had
Becky.
Gail Becky talk about the residential rezoning on Diamond Lake.
Yep.
And all those property owners got together and petitioned planning and zoning.
Yep.
And then the fourth one was a couple from
They live on Casting
Woodhaven?
Lane in Woodhaven. I cannot remember their name, and I'm so sorry it's not right in front of me.
And they were just talking about Sundance and the noise. And, you know, one of the things that they mentioned was how noise isn't necessarily linear, that you can
Right.
hear it in different places at different,
Yeah, and I really
different volumes.
I wanted to be like, yeah, you're right, because I'm a mom. What do moms do on Saturday nights? We go to Target and walk
Oh my
around
gosh,
alone.
it's true.
And
Wait, alone?
Yeah.
Oh.
With no kids and no husband. Are you kidding me? It's like therapy, but better.
I'm learning.
So I noticed in the Target parking lot that you can hear Sundance really well, but when you're stopped at the stoplight on 683 and 176, you can't hear it at all. And that's just because of how they have the speakers positioned. But the village administrator did point out last night that they have acoustic paneling on order, but, you know, as with everything, it's a long lead time, and it may not be here this year, but it'll be here for the start of next concert season. So that should help. That's what they do at Broken Oar in Barrington, and that's really close to residential. So
So think of a tent with these big panels on the side that will absorb the sound.
yeah. So hopefully that's a solution. We'll see, TBD. And then if it's not, we'll figure it out. Something
Sounds good.
where we appease the neighbors and the business. That's the goal. All right. There was no presentations or awards. There was no public hearings. We went to the mayor's report, and there was three promotions within the police department. So our former deputy chief just retired, so we had to replace him. Jason Seeley got that position. Do you want to talk more about this?
No, it was
Okay.
just it was swearing in, and you know
Yeah.
they come up in front of the board. The police chief, Chief Monahan, read their bios and
Yeah.
kind of gave us a little bit of history
they
and
are, yeah.
background of who they are. And they come up and they raise their right hand and they take their oath with the clerk.
And then they get their badges pinned on by their wife or by their
Kids
kids.
or
Oh
significant
my God,
other,
that was so
and
cute.
it
So there
was
was three
cute.
promotions. So DC, Jason Seeley, and then Commander Rick Wolfinger. I probably butchered that. Sorry. And
Rick.
and then Sergeant Mike Bush. So promotions. Good stuff, right? You
Yeah.
have this. This all started with Eric Gunther getting promoted
A year ago.
and the chain moving.
The chain
So
moving up. And,
upward mobility is always good, though. It keeps people inspired and motivated to do their jobs. So
And it keeps people within our police department, so we're not having to pay for new costs of hiring outside individuals too.
Right. All right. And then there was a mayoral proclamation.
So this came from my wife, actually, and I asked the mayor about this, and he was more than willing to proclaim October 2021 as Dyslexia Awareness Month, and he read the proclamation last night. Thank you, Mayor Lentz.
I've learned so much from your wife about dyslexia.
So it's something that's
crazy.
personal to us, and my wife became a tutor for the Children's Dyslexia Center of Greater Chicago, and it's just something that's really dear to her, and she has been so involved in this the last 2 years.
And she knows all the things.
She knows all of the things
Seriously.
about the English language right now, and it kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
And now she's into the advanced program. It's,
oh boy.
yeah, my education is getting deep. So is hers.
All right, so then we went to Community and Economic Development Committee, which is Trustee Russell. The first motion was a variance for a detached garage.
Yep.
So 2 meetings ago, we talked about this. We gave staff permission to draft the ordinance. And what I just want to point out that the neighbors of this house came and spoke, and they are in favor of it. And so, like, you get buy-in. So this was like not a big deal.
Yep.
New garages going up, and then there was 2 big grants.
Business incentive grants.
Yep, thank you, because not everyone speaks the vernacular. One was for Taco Burrito Express. I'll let you go on that one.
So Taco Burrito Express, I spoke about during the motion last night, and I had to apologize.
I was kind of waiting for you to do that, actually.
So I apologize to Esmeralda for not coming in so much lately. Just haven't been there for lunch or dinner lately. But I also mentioned that it's where my wife and I went on our first date. And a little bit of context, back then there was some food allergy issues, and she was very limited on what she could eat, and corn tortillas and
Always
steak
win.
tacos, and I mean, there was just really not much wrong there for allergies, so it just kind of worked. And who doesn't like a good taco?
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, taco shops are amazing. So so I did share that. But as far as the actual motion that was before us, it is for
Patio?
the village's portion for $18,000 and some change to help pay for a new patio area, and it's going to be amazing.
Did she say 10 extra tables?
10 extra tables, and just looking at the plat, I didn't measure it by any means, but it looks like the patio is like the same size as the restaurant, if not larger.
I think that's so cool. I think it'll definitely. Oh, hey, there's a truck.
There's a truck. Hey,
Sorry.
we're filming a podcast.
We're filming a podcast. Keep it down.
Right?
Who do I file a noise complaint with? It's
Right.
annoying. So she also pointed out that by increasing tables, they're going to increase staff. So, like, that's good.
So it's
All
more
good all
jobs,
around.
right?
Yeah. All right. Anyways, the next one was a business incentive. Wait, what? Do you want to talk about?
No.
Okay, moving on.
I'm nodding along.
Not along. Okay. The next one was for a similar grant for Tamales Diana, which is on Midlothian across the street from the high school. They want a new sign out front because they
redid the entire outside there.
So similar.
More good food.
More good food. Really good tamales, actually. So this was smaller. This was $2,000, and this is just the village's portion. So the business is required to spend 50% as well.
And they have to get so many 2 or 3 different quotes.
Yeah, and which are all included in the packet. So if you're inclined to read that kind of stuff, it's in the packet. And then the third motion was rezoning the residential properties on Diamond Lake.
Yep.
How much background do you want to go into this?
I mean, it's been, Miss Becky said last night, 10 plus years of doing this. And
yeah, and this was the old comprehensive plan.
Yep.
Was zoned differently versus the new comprehensive plan.
Lakefront mixed use,
Right.
And now it's just being changed back to what it
residential.
was prior.
Yeah.
More trucks.
More trucks. Unbelievable. The audacity. The fifth one, sorry, I can't. The fifth one was Springbank, which we're looking at right now.
We're looking at it right here,
If you
and
guys were here, you'd see it too.
all we did on this was, it's a lot fancier in the packet of lots of documents, but we extended some dates for some demolition work to
Yes.
occur on the old Public Works site.
Yep. And then that was it. And then Public Works Committee, they were bumping last night. 4
They had a lot.
motions, and there was a presentation during the one of them. So construction contract award. So this was the Allenson Water Tower Valve Project. Budgeted expense, refixing the water tower.
Replacing a valve.
Yeah, replacing a valve.
A very expensive valve.
Seriously, good
but
Lord.
It's a very large valve.
I hope it is. Better be massive.
Right.
Biggest valve ever. Number 2 was landscape maintenance program. So this was.
So this went out for RFPs, and
Yep.
so this we awarded it to the most responsive and
Yep.
qualified, and it's for the next few years.
Yep. And then this is where it got spicy last night. Kind of interesting, something new, innovative. Municipal vehicle lease program. So we heard from Enterprise, and who even knew they did this?
I had no idea
So,
that they did fleet management.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? So they do municipal fleet management. So what happens is you explain this, because I'm going to be long-winded, and then it's just going to.
So really what it comes down to is we have vehicles. We have a lot of vehicles that the village owns, and the municipality tries to get onto a schedule of replacing those vehicles so that we don't end up spending more money on maintenance costs than we would on just buying a new vehicle, because it can happen, especially towards the end of the lifespan of a vehicle.
Right.
So we have we're starting this program. We entered into this agreement to do a test, and we're going to test it with our water department vehicles. And right now we have 4 vans, and they are from 2012 and 2013, and we're going to sell those to Enterprise, who will auction them off, and then we get a cut of money there, and then we will lease 4 vehicles from Enterprise and pay $494 a month in lease fees. And what I asked last night is, well, how much is it if we just buy the vans outright? And it's about $36,000. So what the plan is, and the way that Enterprise works with us, is we will pay that $494 for 5 years, and then at the end of 5 years, they take the vehicle back and cut us a check for what they sell that vehicle for, or a portion of it.
Or the difference or whatever. But what the key highlights here that stood out to me is that we have insane buying power because we participate in
the state-run
bidding,
Yep.
and we don't pay sales tax.
Right.
So it's not like you or I, this was such a good analogy when he said it. It's not like you or I going to buy a car and immediately we're upside down on the car.
Right.
In fact, the opposite is true. When the village buys a car, they are right side up.
We have equity.
There's equity in the car, and this is capitalizing on the equity that's in these vehicles. So other municipalities do this. Crystal Lake, Algonquin. It's been so I'm a nerd. I went home and Googled it about Algonquin, and it's been like a huge success out there. So we're tiptoeing it in, but I think this will continue. What I think would be really fascinating is if we could do it on police cars.
Well, and that's what they said last night, was that's where they're really looking at it for savings in the future, is by replacing the police vehicles, which I think we are on a 5 or 6 year.
We do 5 years. But that can change. Like, so when the pandemic hit, we had to delay everything a year.
And so where if we were, on a lease, it's cheaper.
Right. We would be able to do that. So hopefully this creates more stability in the rotation of our fleet.
And I asked last night about hybrid and electric, and hopefully we'll be able to get there and save on fuel.
Yeah.
And the environment, which would be amazing.
So that's what that is. So we are tiptoeing into that program. We'll see what happens, right? I think it's going to be good. It's been good in other communities, so why wouldn't it be good here? Anyways, but yeah. And then the fourth motion was the fire station's getting a new roof.
The fire station is getting a new roof, and we had to push back a few items that were budgeted for this year. We had to push to next year. We were going to do the roof
because this was budgeted for next year,
but
dire conditions.
It needs to be replaced now.
And I think when we met with the fire department when we got elected, they had said
2 years ago.
They needed it, so they're really pushing it. And I think it's like over 20 years old.
The roof is over 20 years old.
So like, time to do it. All right, so that was that. Next was you, finance committee. What you got going on?
All we did was pay bills last night. What was it? 790,
less, smaller than normal.
Yeah.
So good work, trustee.
Read that number. What is it?
$797,000. Nope, $797,370.62.
There you go.
Yep, good job, Kara. I do have my master's degree, which is, did read big numbers for a long time. Okay, so next was public safety, which is me, and I kind of created a little, I don't know. So I had talked to our attorney after the meeting about this too, but apparently when you're amending an ordinance, just the amendment of the section has to be included in the packet and not the entire ordinance. It's inferred that the entire ordinance stays the same other than the section you're amending. Wasn't clear to me. Okay, my bad. So I wanted to make sure that we amended what we were voting on to include the fact that we don't balance bill. What does that mean? We don't bill any residents for fire or ambulance outside of what insurance costs. So we bill your insurance $2,600. Insurance only covers $1. We're not going to balance bill you the $2,500. So that's what it.
And I think it's worth pointing out that this was brought to you. It was a resident's concern that was brought to you, and you took the time to clarify and make sure that we were doing this the right way.
Yeah, so the resident brought it to me like literally a half an hour before the board meeting. She messaged me on Facebook and was like, can you meet me before? And I said, sure, let me just throw some food at my kids and I'm running out the door. Sorry, honey. So met with her really quick. I was totally a disheveled mess sitting in the parking lot on my laptop trying to read what she was talking about. She had 2 other points that she needed clarification on. One of them was there was a clause where it said that the police or fire will not refuse service based on if you have a bill or not, and she didn't read the first part that it said we will not do this, so she was concerned about that, so just clarified that. And then the other part was that she was concerned there's a clause that says if fire gets called to a residential care facility for it's falls, basically they call the fire department to help them with residents when the residents fall, and that's like not okay, because that should be on the residential care facility staffing, not on our fire department, not on the taxpayers. And so if that is the case, the fire department charges this residential care facility $300.
Okay.
And so she read it as resident. And so I just had to clarify that it's a residential care facility. There's a term for this where they do lift calls.
Yeah,
right?
I remember we talked about it
this.
with...
and it's a burden to the fire department. And I mean, I hate to say that out loud, but the residential care facility should be staffed to accommodate their residents. End of rant. So explain those 2 things, got clarification on the amended motion from last night. Public Works is strolling up over here, so I was sorry I distracted. But and we changed our billing structure of our EMT of ambulance last night. Why can I not speak? Lord have mercy.
GEMT.
So the GEMT is this new program that we're going to be participating in, and it allows us to bill Medicaid. Yes. Yeah. Medicaid. I always get those 2 mixed up. Always have my whole career. A certain amount, and us to collect revenues back from it. So we will be getting like 50% back, and it's a net positive to the village of over $600,000.
Yes, if not more.
So that's being conservative. So it's a good program. We had to do a little bit of shushing with our fees and how we word it, and the ordinance was to participate in this program. But I just, we did clarify last night again. Past practices have indicated for the past 30 years, if not longer, that we've never balance billed our residents, and it is in the motion that was adopted last night that we will not balance bill our residents. So all of this very long-winded to say we're participating in this new GEMT program. It's going to be a net positive financially for the village, and that's that.
All right.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. Then I asked the chiefs if they had anything. I think Chief Monahan was talked out because he had promoted all of the police last night. No, and he had nothing to report. Chief Lark did report about our blood drive. Heyo, this needs to be written everywhere in town that we had the largest blood drive of the year in town.
That Vitalin has
in
seen
2 years.
In the last 2 years.
That's insane. So 76.
Not just out of the Mundelein ones, but out of the entire Chicagoland area.
That's insane.
We
crushed it, man. Yeah. Thanks, guys. So 76 units of blood were collected. There is going to be another one again. There is still a critical blood shortage. So please go donate blood if you can. That's all I got.
Okay.
Whew. So that was a big ordeal for me, right? Okay.
What's the time at?
Stop. We're going fast. There was no building committee report. Yep. Transportation and infrastructure, the one motion, and this is just for, there's 2 neighborhoods that we are grinding down and resurfacing. So not just patching.
So what do we do?
We passed a motion to agree to the plan for these 2 neighborhoods. Right. Preliminary engineering services. This is the start of it, right? So there is a master plan that is accessible that shows which neighborhoods get done and when.
Yep. And
this is following that. Got it? Got it. Other reports? Nothing.
Nothing.
Schedule of business. So the omnibus vote, which again, these are not controversial. One was regarding Irma, so our insurance. Yep. And the other was releasing of executive session minutes.
Yep. So all the things we do in our how was it introduced to me? Our double secret squirrel session.
Yeah, right.
And
that are recorded. So
all the cool stuff that we do in executive session.
Eric's using that term loosely.
Yeah, very loosely. Eye roll. And it's so we have to discuss twice a year under state law that we have to release minutes and recordings and all that kind of stuff. So we did that last night.
And that is it, friends.
As it's getting louder.
Man, this is a loud area.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right, so that's all we got. Happenings this weekend. It's Oktoberfest at the Farmers Market on Friday.
It sure is.
I can't remember what else.
I'm just going to give a shout out to Frank from Area Coffee. He just stopped by right before we filmed this podcast. So, Frank, always good to see you.
I have a really cute video of him and his grandson that I sent to his daughter.
Aw.
Swinging on swing. You should insert it right here.
I can't do that to Frank.
I think that's it, though. Just the farmer's market. I can't remember. I don't think there's anything else going on.
Mm-mm.
I might be missing something.
I don't remember
sure
anything else going on.
But pumpkin picking. Super secret pumpkin picking spot in Mundelein. Do you know of it?
No. What?
It's called Abergeens. I got it wrong. Don't quote me on the name. But if you're leaving town on 176, leave me alone with my sense of directions. If you're heading west out of town on the left side of the street, look at that, I know that. Near Steeplechase, there is a pumpkin farm there.
Oh,
just straight pumpkins. Go pick them up. Avoid all the chaos of the data years and those kind of places. Just get some pumpkins. So
got it.
Super cute. Weather is
Awesome.
beautiful, so enjoy the weather.
Yes, this is absolutely amazing.
All right. Thanks, Public Works, for disrupting my serene life right now. Gosh,
Oh my gosh.
the audacity. Have a good week, you guys.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.